Zero, season 4, episode 32. It's our first ever episode after having our own panel at San Diego Comic-Con. How you doing? I'm Brandon Davis, joined today by Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody. For the audio listeners, Beatty popped into frame like a hedgehog. It was absolutely delightful, like a groundhog. This is such a great energy today. This is going to be so much fun.
We got Aaron Perrine.
No, I don't know what kind of mammal that was. Good morning, everybody.
That's that pig from the Geico commercial, you know. Woo! 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 We got Jamie Jirac.
Good morning. I hope everyone's well rested after Comic-Con weekend.
If you can't tell, I'm still just delirious.
Me
I don't
too.
even know what day it is. I woke up and was like, do we have a show? Is it Wednesday? And I said that yesterday, and I'm going to say it tomorrow. Oh, we do have a show tomorrow. By the way, we'll tell you what it is at the end of the show. We got a lot to talk about today, but first, thank you so much to everybody who has been following the channel, been following the Twitter, everything for the past 4 years, but especially for the past 4 weeks. Hugely successful month for Phase Zero. The powers that be at Paramount said we're all getting a $1 million bonus. No, that's that. I wish that was true, but no, seriously, the numbers on the channel, the numbers on the videos, the numbers on the podcast, everything's been so good, which doesn't really affect us that much, other than we can brag about it to publicists and say like, hey, look at the number of people that do interviews with us that like, or that listen to us. So therefore you should send your clients to us so we can interview them. And all these people who listen to us can hear from them. But other than that, like, it's just fun for me. It's fun to see that so many people are having fun listening to us. And just knowing that, you know, we reach people, and Comic-Con really put that in perspective. So another thank you to everybody who filled the room at San Diego Comic-Con. By the time that panel was over, I mean, sure, there were a few empty seats, but like, it was pretty full in there, and we appreciate that. It made us feel good, and everybody who came up to us, I got to walk around with Jenna quite a bit, and a lot of people came up to us and just gave some shouts, said they loved the podcast. Jenna, what was it like for you to be at Comic-Con and meet so many people face to face?
Absolutely surreal. Like, that was an experience that I will never forget. It's so cool. Like, we love the live chat. We love seeing the chat every single week, but it's so cool to put names to faces, and so cool to just hear directly from people the impact that we've had. So I'm never going to forget it. And just the room was so cool for our panel. The energy was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so cool. Aaron, Jamie, you guys were only there Saturday, Sunday. But I mean, what was Comic-Con like for you guys?
I mean, we had a great time. I was so shocked to meet Neebs and to like see people and like talk everybody outside. We were right next to Arcane panel. There was a slight panic when we were walking towards the room because we thought all of that line was for us, but
Yeah.
about half of it was, which is still wild to see. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it was really lovely. I met so many cool people. But my favorite was not in the con. It was being on the street in San Diego, going into a bar, and somebody going, "Phase Zero!" I was like, "Yeah!" that was really funny. I enjoyed that very much. That was a good boost. It's just nice that you guys like us. Thanks for liking us.
It is. It does always put it in perspective that we do. Like, people, it's always shocking to me. Not only people like watch and listen, but like they really actually listen and pay attention. And we appreciate it. Just feels good to meet people. And I don't know how to describe it. It's a very surreal feeling when somebody comes up and they recite something that has happened 6 months ago on the show or something. And they're like, I love this episode. I loved when that happened. Or, you know, I thought it was funny when you guys were arguing about this. I'm like, yo, you guys really like us. Thank you so much. So I just had to say thank you to everybody. And also huge thanks to Paul from PAL Public Relations, who helped us put together that panel. Paul, we We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. And Jim, no, thank you. Robert Downey Jr. is
We
back.
should mention, by the way, that the panel is on YouTube if people would like to watch it. Like, it is now available for people to watch if they were not able to be in the room with us.
It's a very good shout. Yes, the entire panel, in which is our Hall H discussion panel. So, okay, also let's just clear something up here. On Saturday night, there was a Marvel Studios Hall H reception, something they've never done before. It is my understanding that Kevin Feige really wanted to go big, and they were very excited about Marvel this year, Hall H, and they did something for the first time ever. Jenna and I got to go to that, which was incredible. And about 9:15 p.m., I looked at Jenna and the new Jim, JK, and I said, guys, we got to get going. We got to go do the podcast. Aaron, Jamie, and Richard are back at the studio. Like, we got to go do this. And JK looked at me. He's like, man, listen, you're at this thing. This is once in a lifetime. If you want to stay here, maybe stay here. And I was like, I do. I just don't. And he was like, listen, you have my permission to do it. Like, just, you got to be the one to text and make the call. So I want to apologize to Jamie, Aaron, and Richard for us and our listeners for us not having a show Saturday night. But Jenna and I were literally like chumming it up, like talking with Joe Russo and Anthony Russo and Brad Winderbaum, and just getting an opportunity to talk to some people in a way that I've never heard of happening before. Hopefully it happens every year and more of us can go. But that's why we delayed the show, and I will take responsibility for that, because ultimately, like JK said, he's like, all right, you got to make the call, you got to send the text. And so I did, and we delayed the show and ended up making our Hall H panel, our 29AB panel about Hall H, which honestly works because we didn't really have it all planned out yet anyway, because we were like, what are we going to talk about? And that ended up being very fun to do. But I did just want to thank everybody for being patient with us and apologize to the folks who wanted to do a show and listen to a show for being the one who, I guess, made that decision. So yeah, that was an insane.
Ended up being worth the wait.
It was.
It was fun. It was fun. Also, a couple of what's that? I saw a deep breath. I was like, Jamie has something to say. I don't know. When I see animation on Jamie's face, I move out of the way. I clear the runway.
That's for later in the show.
Yeah.
And one more thing before we get into all the news, which another way I got ahead of myself. We have 2 spotlight episodes coming. Aaron Stanford, I've already mentioned. Another one, which I maybe shouldn't say this because it hasn't been recorded yet, but it's scheduled now as of like 20 minutes ago. Daphne Keene. So
Ooh.
A lot of good stuff coming to the Phase Zero podcasts and YouTube channel. So stay subscribed. Also, I think I didn't even have a chance to tell you guys this yet. This is the first. Yeah. It's just literally right before the show. Anyway. All right. Here is the news. Robert Downey Jr. is back. And when we make jokes about the Marvel dump truck full of money, we're not kidding. According to Variety, Robert Downey Jr. is getting significantly more than $80 million to play Doom in these Avengers 5 and 6 movies. He is going to have a trailer encampment on set. I don't even know what that means. Like, what is he going to have, a village? Like, are they going to build
just like a small town of trailers all tied to him in some capacity.
Will they be connected through underground tunnels?
Who knows?
Like, what is it? Hey, man, he's got one trailer for food, one trailer for video games, one trailer for movies, one trailer for, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Deadpool weekend is over, so we're stopping there. But he's going to have private jet travel. He's going to have dedicated security on set. And he would only return to Avengers 5 and 6 if the Russo brothers directed it. That part, I believe. I believe he only wanted to work with the Russos. None of this is surprising. Get your bag, Downey. It's, I don't know what there is to really say about this beyond the fact that, like, it's
I think there are things to say.
What do you got? Let's hear it. Go. I'm just unsurprised.
No, it's not surprising. And it is common for after an actor to win an Oscar that they get paid more. And he was already getting paid a lot by the end, by the time we got to Endgame. So no, it's not surprising. But I think living in LA these past couple of years has radicalized me a little bit, having so many friends in the industry who work on these projects and how little they get paid. And it's kind of hard to justify one person getting so much. I don't think one person needs that much money in any capacity, let alone having fun in a mask. No, these jobs can be hard. Absolutely. I think being a high profile actor, there are a lot of negative things, and the positive is that they get the bag, like BD said. But I do think it's a little gross. I just feel a little icky about it. RDJ deserves money, absolutely. And again, it's how it works. It's always how it worked. But I do wish that lower level jobs in this industry were a little more respected, and that they at least made a living wage. And a lot of people don't even make a living wage. So that's how I feel about that.
I agree with Jamie. First and foremost, one thing that I was thinking about as this report was coming out is if anyone who is going to be another returning cast member of like someone who's going to be on the Avengers roster or in the movie in some way has not signed on the dotted line yet, it's really interesting that this report has come out because now they have a frame of reference of how much money Downey's making. And obviously, like, I feel like no one on that cast is probably going to get close to that 80 million or more, but it probably is going to make the negotiations interesting if they haven't already happened yet. So I agree with Jamie, but it's interesting that this report comes out. It's not surprising. It's just going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
I come from the world of sports reporting, and what he just did is what we like to call resetting the market. The agent for Chris Evans definitely just sent a big, bold PDF of this entire variety piece to Chris, like, yo, so when we go to the table, we know what's possible. Maybe not exactly the same. Maybe not a Kevin Garnett situation or Aaron Judge where it's like, I want one more dollar than the guy who was paid the most just to say I did it. But that is kind of wild. Also, I am a big stopper for Brody, and he did use the leverage. You had the leverage. You used that hammer. Like, BD talks about how like Sony might have more leverage now in that Marvel deal that they have with Sony. If they have the leverage, I know RDJ came in there like, listen, I want Feige's desk, and they just give it to him. So it is kind of wild. It is funny too because there's been all this hand wringing in our community about how much this movie's going to cost.
Yeah.
And I kept telling you, it's not for you to worry about. This is your cue. Let it go. Let it go. We're talking about a very expensive picture here now.
Yep.
Yeah. But also, if you really think about it too, if you're paying him that much money and, you know, he signed on and the Russos are signed on, it does make recruiting the other people back way easier. He can literally do goofily in character, I'm getting the team back together and just hand Chris Evans the shield, like, here you go. And there's another face for your poster, which will help earn back the small GDP of an island nation that we're spending on this film.
When it's all said and done with, Robert Downey Jr. is going to make more off of playing roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania made at the worldwide box office.
Wait, what? Say it again?
Downey is going to make more money working for Marvel than Quantumania made at the worldwide box office.
Wow.
Like, in total.
It's definitely in play.
It's
Yeah.
definitely... I mean,
Jamie's like, I did not sign up for math class. She is so upset right now.
No, I'm just thinking about all the unhoused people I see sleeping on the street every day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's just, we live in a crazy country. But, I mean, the movie's going to make money. No matter how much they put into this movie, pretty sure they're going to make more than that. So,
Exactly.
That's the game plan. It's smart business.
If you're Downey, obviously, you chase the money, take the money. If Downey doesn't take the money, it's not like Disney's about to go down to Venice and be like, all right, let's go buy all these people a house.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
But, I mean, listen, the budget for this movie is insane. It's very interesting to think about if Chris Evans is a possible, return for this that in an unsigned way. What is that going to cost? Does this include like a new ride at Disneyland? I hope so.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But I doubt it. But yeah, I mean, that ride is coming. That multiverse ride with King Thanos is coming. And everybody on the poster, I just can't imagine Downey agreeing to a sort of immortalized role at Disneyland for anything less than, I don't know, the cost of California. But obviously, we talked about this in our San Diego episode. Thrilled to see Downey back. It was an eruption on stage, but it also feels like maybe it was The Rock coming back in that Cody Rhodes moment where people are like, if you're in the room, it's thrilling. Outside of it, it's like, what's going to happen here? I still am of the belief, impossible to judge until we see the story no more. We might start seeing the story in Fantastic Four. I asked Matt Shackman about this. Let's all watch and listen to his reaction real quick and then talk about it. So listen, it's no secret now. Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom. Doom is a major Fantastic Four villain.
Yes.
We know Downey played Iron Man in the Sacred Timeline.
Yes.
You guys are in a different timeline here. Is he part of the Fantastic Four film here, the first one?
Cannot say anything.
That's fair enough. So that's a yes, right? If it's a I can't say anything, it's because yes.
I don't know. I'm getting PTSD to every time anyone involved with Deadpool was asked about a specific cameo that never ended up happening, and was just kind of like, we'll wait and see. So I feel like it's good media training, if anything else.
I feel like if anything, we're getting a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's whether or not he's a major role in this movie. I feel like he won't be, even though the character is important, because I do feel like they're really trying to bank on getting these new characters out there, and this is the one movie I feel like where they're really trying to push forward in a way. And so I would be surprised if he's in it a lot, but I think we're getting at least a sprinkle.
A sprinkle, just a slight drizzle.
I think he is, and I know that's going to probably be divisive among people, but as we're going to talk about here, you got to introduce him at some point. He can't just roll up in Avengers 5 and be like, yo, I'm Dr. Doom and everything's cool, at least for some of the fan base. I know some of it don't matter. As long as Robert Downey Jr. shows up and puts them arms out, we are here for it. But yeah, I think you have to have at least him pop up for at least a second. And also, it's just kind of funny because like the things that the drizzle, Jamie, the little sprinkle of him. If he is the 616 Doom, isn't it funny that there was just a Tony Stark doppelganger out there this entire time and no one ever pointed it out? No one ever said, hey, you look just like.
No, there's not a chance. There's not a chance.
I don't see him as 616 Doom.
Yeah,
I see him as
not
another universe's Doom that is then going to cause Secret Wars. So
I would agree. I'm just saying that people were like, oh, like in the comments, some of the comments were like, if he's not the 6161, it's a little bit annoying. And I'm like, I feel like he's obviously going to be from some other universe. Like,
Yeah.
We're going to find out it's his chair, y'all, from Multiverse of Madness. That's what we're going to find out. We're going to get all sorts of fun stuff.
the chat is on the topic of Marvel people lying with just what is a Red Hulk. So that's all you kind of need to know.
We have been lied to so many times. We like straight to our own faces right here on Phase Zero.
I saw somebody get mad about that. Like, stop asking these questions. It's not a good bit. Literally, we're talking about it a year later. So actually, it's really good for our jobs. Like, sorry, it's part of the job. You know, what am I supposed to say? Hi, Harrison Ford. Tell me about your day. What'd you have for lunch? Like, that's just not what our job is. You know?
He gave you a fire.
While there's an elephant-sized Red Hulk right behind you, like in the room. Well, let's just act like that's not there.
Yep.
No, we're going to talk about it. But okay, so going back to Doom. Thanos wasn't in the story really until Infinity War. I think it would have been cool to have Doom built up more. Listen. But they didn't. So is that okay?
I think we can't go back in time. Unlike Aaron, who is a time traveler, the rest of us can't go back in time and change that and add him into these movies. I think given the point in which we are course correcting, they still have enough runway to still set it up. I do agree, like a post-credit scene or two would probably have been beneficial. Something would have been beneficial, but I think there is still a way to hit the ground running. Infinity War, for all intents and purposes, is a Thanos movie, and like everyone else is just kind of on the periphery of it. So like if Doomsday is a Doctor Doom movie and everyone else is just on the periphery of him, I think that could still work, and I think that could be effective. Everyone's favorite MCU villain most likely only had a movie or two to really cook, or just one movie overall. So I think there's a way to do it. It's just, it's not the ideal situation, but it's where we're at.
I feel like it is important to, like, I think the Thanos argument is kind of all you need to hear. I mean, look at Guardians when he's a looming presence. That could very much be what Fantastic Four is. He's, Mr. Puppet Master, but that doesn't mean we see him. And I think that works well. That there's this villain that he's controlling, just like he was controlling Loki. Doesn't mean we had to see him from the Avengers like way back when. I think it's easy to plant those seeds. It's easy to be like, to throw in a line of like, oh yeah, Dr. Doom, he told Kang to go out there, like, and so, anything like that, whether or not that would make sense. I feel like no matter what, I think they'll make it work in that regard. I mean, my favorite villain will always be Ultron, and that was a one-off situation, and I think they crushed it, so.
Thanos had like 3 scenes in a hologram before Infinity War. Appeared in the credit scene of Avengers, had the scene with Ronan in Guardians, and was a hologram on a wall earlier in the movie. I wouldn't even call it a hologram, just a projector, just a cosmic space projector. And then the Age of Ultron credit scene. That was it. And then came out of the gate murdering Heimdall and half of Thor's people on the ship, killing Loki. Thanos did more in 5 minutes than Kang did in phase 4. I don't know. Obviously, the concern is, will this Doom be defined by Tony Stark in some way? And I hope that's not the case so far. I don't know what the story is going to be. This could end up being really awesome if they do something like that. Maybe we love it. I know, obviously, I know nothing about this like that. Like I said, impossible to judge. But there are ways this has happened before in comics.
Yeah. Yes. So on paper there are, but they aren't as prolific of storylines as some of the fandom online is seeming to think that they are. I've seen so many people try to argue like, well, this is comic canon. It's like, it is, but kind of in mostly a what if situation. And so in 2004's Marvel Team Up number 3, Tony becomes kind of a Doom Iron Man hybrid, and that is named Iron Maniac. That's really just for that issue. It's not a long-standing thing, and it's not even close to what it seems like we're going to be getting. And then the one touchstone that everyone is using since this got announced is in What If Iron Man Demon in an Armor. It's basically Demon in a bottle, but with Dr. Doom. He and Tony swap bodies, and you see Tony as Dr. Doom and vice versa, and how they both like use their personas to kind of impact their own specific missions. I don't even think that's what we're getting, because that would be very confusing to explain to the general audiences. And I also think they're not going to touch Tony Stark in the way that we think they will in introducing Doom. I think, if anything, as I said on our panel, which is still a crazy sentence to say, I still think it's a thing of just the symbolism of having your greatest villain be the face of your franchise before. I don't think it's going to be anything beyond that. But like you said, we don't know what the story is yet.
This is just straight up WWE stuff.
Yeah. It's also soap opera stuff, as people have brought that up to kind of utilize how this is. It's totally a character dying on a soap opera and then coming back a couple of years later and the actor's playing a different character. Jamie agrees with me.
That's more my language than wrestling. So yes.
And I mean, there's also people are mentioning infamous Iron Man in the comics, and that's where Doom takes over Tony's body. Yes. Also, I saw a theory on a Reddit thread that was like saying that we all presume Galactus is going to devour that world, and Doom is going to basically find a way to teleport himself to another dimension. But what if he only teleports his consciousness to another body, and that consciousness ends up in a Tony Stark body in another universe?
Oh.
There's ways to do it. There's interesting stuff that could happen. I think this is too big of a risk to not be confident in your plan. This is a significantly more than $80 million risk. I'm waiting to see. I think it's cool to have Downey back, but I don't think they're about to just go into this haphazardly in the way that people are like, oh, Marvel's freaking out. They brought back Downey. No, they spent an unfathomable amount of money to bring him back. They must believe in what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to talk about Fantastic Four, Daredevil Born Again, and there's a Jamie rant coming. See you in a moment. Welcome back to Phase Zero, Season 4, Episode 32, 31, whatever episode this is. I said it correctly at the top of the show. The Fantastic Four, they're actually in love. Josh Horowitz interviewed them at Comic-Con. You can't speak about this. You just have to witness it. Richard, can you roll the clip?
Fittings. Do you feel cool in the costume? Do you feel like, oh my God, I regret all my life choices? What have I done?
You look really good.
We all look great.
You do look really good.
We all look really, really great.
In
And
fact,
it's
the other
such a
day he
fun
was wearing
era
a
to be in.
spacesuit, wasn't he? And you just looked so good.
So did you.
He looked really sexy. He did.
Sexy
Get
in a
ready,
spacesuit.
get ready. He did. It was like, whoa. I came and told you straight away. It was true. It's really, really something. There we go. That was the proper.
Oh, I'm sorry, I broke
All right,
Mr.
that's-
Fantastic's
that's all
hand.
we need. That's look. I mean, Jamie, are you okay?
This is gonna, the panic has set in. I seriously, like, I'm always talking about how the MCU is pretty sexless, and I'm just convinced that Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby are here to save us and to
It's
bring
not that kind of movie,
sexy
Jamie.
back. I don't mean that. I don't mean
I'm just
sexless
kidding, I'm just
like
kidding.
they're gonna roll around on the floor Eternal style. I mean like sexy. Sexy. They're gonna be sexy. They're gonna have chemistry. Remember chemistry? They have it. Look at them just on that carpet. They've got chemistry. Like, I feel like Marvel doesn't care about chemistry and romance as much as they should. And this is the time. This is where we win. This isn't a rant. It's just excited yelling.
I agree. I wrote a piece earlier this year about like 97 and all of the relationship drama proved that we needed more romance. And to be at this point now, I feel so blessed. They were like, I'm on my way. We're going to help fix that. The chemistry between the two of them alone is going to make this movie so special. And like Jamie said, the bi panic is setting it in the best possible way.
People in the chat are naming certain characters that had chemistry. Yes, obviously. Since 2008, there have been pairings with chemistry, of course. But that's just not important to Marvel. That's not a top tier priority, and that's clear.
And also, cast chemistry sells a movie. Like, there's just no doubt. I think that the press tours for the old Avengers movies were sold on the fact that Downey and Evans and ScarJo and Hemsworth and all these people were such good friends with each other, and they joked with each other, and they were funny to watch on talk shows and in press conferences. And watching Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal on this press tour seems like it's going to be fun. Ironically, they were the least fun cast on stage at Comic-Con. I think, like many people have already surmised, they were very tired. But the Thunderbolts, like Harrison Ford was energized AF on that stage. And so the Thunderbolts were having a blast, and the Fantastic Four on stage had the least energetic presence. But then you have this come out afterwards, and it's like, ooh, maybe this will be fun.
They made up for it.
Yeah, we're rooting for you guys. So there's a bit more Fantastic Four in the news this week.
Yeah, so there are already set photos from Fantastic Four surfacing online. They are not spoilery, other than sets are being built for the production. We're not going to share them here because I don't think we're allowed to host them, but you can very easily find them online. They're showing like the Baxter Building and a launch pad being built. They're showing various exteriors. They're showing like the RKO Palace Theater of like what their version of Times Square is going to look like. And most importantly to me, they showed a very cool street corner that I'm like, there is no way this is not Yancey Street, because BD will show it. We got a fan as a freebie at the Marvel Hall H panel, and Yancey Street is on the map. And so I'm so excited to see that, because that is Ben Grimm's like hometown. That's his place of operations. It's the thing he's like most associated with. And I'm so excited to see how that works in a 60s context.
So it's all here. Yeah. So it starts with I can't see it in the mirror of the, You got the Fantastic Four Clean Energy Complex, Statue of Liberty, Yancey Street is right here. I guess this is technically the first look at the Baxter Building. Like, really?
Yeah.
Right there.
And then also the launch pad that they're building is named the Excelsior launch pad on that fan, and so that's a little Stan Lee nod. So that's cute.
The Fantastic Car is on there. What else we got? Oh yeah, their Times Square. There's a look at their Times Square. Very different from our Times Square. And on the back side, you have the character designs. The Fantastic Four, Sue Storm, Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. It's crazy to think that Jessica Alba's Invisible Woman came back for the entirety of Deadpool and Wolverine, and people stopped talking about it. This was free after, if you went to the Hall H panel, it was part of like you got a ticket, you go claim it. They also gave us tickets to claim the Captain America 4 poster and the Penguin poster. Well, Jenna got that from going to that.
I wasn't sure if you were going to tell this story.
Yeah, I got the Deadpool and Wolverine concept art. Like, I went to the Marvel booth, special requested it. I was like, please, guys, can I have one? They gave me one. I marched over to Andy Park's booth. He signed it. Jenna asked me to get this stuff for her because she had to go catch a flight. So I was like, yeah, I got you. Got the Cap 4 poster, the Penguin poster for her. My Andy Park art, all in a Hulu tube, because Hulu gives out poster tubes at Comic-Con. And when we packed the car to leave San Diego, it got left in the Hilton lobby, and I called them, and it was gone.
No,
because I'm an idiot, and I have a curse with posters. I don't know why, but this happens every single time I get a poster on a trip. So, somebody who took that Hulu poster tube, I hope you really like the Penguin, Captain America 4, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the 10 copies of the Rookie signed poster that was in there because of the Hulu movie. And American Dad and Family Guy.
I'm just happy to get the Fantastic Four fan. Like, I'm happy with that. Like,
I did not lose Jenna's Fantastic Four.
I would have been legitimately mad at you if that ended up in the poster tube. So, but I get it. It happens. So I can't believe you're telling the audience about it. It was already so sad when we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, this is my version of therapy.
We didn't get
Charlie Cox says Daredevil Born Again.
We didn't get them to weigh in on any of the FF stuff we just talked about.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't have anything to say. It sounds cool. Looks cool. My Andy Park poster made it safely to my home. So.
Oh, you got the Deadpool Wolverine one? Oh, the
WandaVision one that you so kindly got for me.
Oh, well, it was all worthwhile then. Charlie Cox says Daredevil Born Again wasn't going to reference the original stuff from Netflix before the retooling. At Galaxy Con Raleigh via Screen Rant, Eldon wasn't invited to join the show at first. They had written in a cameo in the first episode to end the link between the shows and give the old fans closure. They scrapped that in the new version. So obviously now we know Daredevil Born Again Season 1 has fully embraced the Netflix stuff. It seems they are just following it up and building on top of it. So I think a lot of people would have been pissed. You would have had a huge portion of Daredevil fans, which is who is going to watch this show, being like, what the hell is this? And now they fixed it.
This show's going to be so interesting just to see how it touches on all of that while still being a new show. As I keep saying, whenever we talk about this, it'll be almost over a decade at this point since Daredevil season 1 came out. So I'm very curious how these characters will have grown and changed as people just do in the span of a decade, and whether or not the fandom will still want them kind of preserved in amber at all. So it's interesting to see.
3 minutes ago, Jonathan Majors heartbroken over Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom replacing Kang in Avengers films. He'd still return to MCU if that's what Marvel wants.
And the fans want.
This is what?
And if this is what the fans want too.
Marvel wants what the fans want, right? Typically. I mean, they want to be trying to do what the fans want. Well, this is interesting.
This just came out for
TMZ.
Golly.
Well, so there's that. Just dropped. I don't really know what else there is to say about that.
I don't know what a Hollywood Spirit Award gets you. I mean, it ain't an Oscar. They not going back up the big truck for that man right now. I don't know, man. What? Everybody's like, Messi. Oh, please, come on. We all live on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about any of that. I was going to say something about Fantastic Four, and now it's gone. And now all the Daredevil thoughts are gone too. So somebody else go.
I mean, we knew that was the case for Daredevil. We knew that it wasn't going to be the show, and now it is the show. So none of that's surprising. Yeah. And as for the other situation, we've said all we need to on that subject. I think in terms of had that specific actor. If we wanted to, if we wanted to talk about feelings on a recast, great. But I think that's the only way that situation was going to go if we were keeping Kang. So that's on that.
I agree.
Let's move on to some good news.
Yeah.
Some good news for the Marvel movie go. Well, we all root for these things, so I consider this good news.
So Deadpool and Wolverine has pushed the MCU over $30 billion in box office total, and they dropped some statistics here. A lot of freaking math on today's show, man. Each of the 33 feature films that have opened for Marvel Studios have opened at number 1. Deadpool Wolverine is the 34th. 10 of those films have grossed over 1 billion globally, while 2 have grossed over 2 billion. And Marvel holds the number 2, number 6, number 7, and number 10 spots on the list of the highest grossing films of all time worldwide. So the train moves forward. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman take their hilarious victory lap, and you get to see all kinds of fun things now of how they made that movie. It's probably going to get it. Did it get over 500 yesterday?
I feel like it had to have.
There was like
it went up 4% Tuesday to Monday. Which is Monday went up 4% into Tuesday. Like more and more people are going to see this movie.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I'm so delirious still from San Diego that all of the numbers you just said just went right in one ear out the other. So it sounds great, and I'm happy it's making money because, as we said, we root for these things to do well.
It's just whether it's Marvel or otherwise, it's better for our business if movies are doing well.
Yep.
We're not going to support bad movies, but but it's better if more people are going to it. More people will be wanting to talk about it. More people joining our community. So it's awesome to see it. Feels like it just feels like a Marvel event in a way that we haven't had in a while, which is fun. And the movie is just so much damn fun. Ryan Reynolds said on Twitter last night he saw it 189 times, so he's the reason.
You guys are in a race to get as many necklaces as possible.
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Y'all know my struggle with the claw machine. Well, guess what? Since then, I got 2 more.
All right.
Wow.
Jealous. I never got one.
One of them was from a partnership I did on Instagram. The other one was I don't remember, some promo box had it, and I was like, I the way I laughed when I saw it in that box, I was like, you're kidding me.
Now you can alternate throughout the week. You don't have to wear the same one every day.
Yeah. All right, everybody, we need you to buckle up because it's time for
Sound the alarm.
Red alert! Red alert! We got a Jamie Red!
Oh, let's go. I just want to preface this with 2 things. When I tweeted this, but I deleted it because people were already getting nasty, and someone was like, no one cares. I care. What I'm about to talk about, I care, and I'm a person, and I know I'm not alone. Second of all, I know there are bigger problems in the world, obviously, but it's my job to talk about this problem. So you've heard of an open letter. Well, this is an open rant directed to one Sean Levy. Sir, I hope this gets to you. I want to say I loved your film. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. Saw it twice. Hope to see it more times. I think it's great. I love that you're engaging with fans on social media. I think that is so cool. It reminds me of Twitter of yesteryear. It's nice to see you being like, you even shared one of my tweets, and I felt really good about it. Thank you. That's awesome. But my man, you keep sharing posts from people who are taking pictures and videos of the screen. Your movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, had an entire PSA trailer about how you shouldn't have your phone out in the screen. And you, the man who's the #1 movie in the world, your movie is the #1 movie in the world. You have influence, and you are taking to Twitter, and you are sharing illegal screenshots. You are encouraging bad behavior. Someone's like, oh, the director of the movie is going to share my tweet if I have this cool image in it. So that's going to be my priority, not sitting down and enjoying this film. No, it's going to be, I'm going to flash my light. I'm going to light pollution everybody. And then Sean, respond, type. I don't know. What are you doing? And you know what? Here's the deal. Sean, I understand. You probably get to go to private screenings all the time. You don't have to go to an AMC on a Thursday night and deal with a regular Joe crowd. And I respect that you're probably not thinking about what this means. Also, can we talk?
Oh. Jamie, you're muted.
Jamie, you accidentally muted your mic. You got so animated that you muted yourself.
Where were we?
Can we talk about?
Okay, it's illegal. It's illegal to film the screen. That's another thing. When I worked at AMC, it was part of my job to do theater checks, and I would get paid. I would get paid if I caught somebody recording the screen. And now it's everyday business. Sean, please interact with your fans. We love you. We love your movie. Stop encouraging bad behavior. And that goes for all of you. I sometimes see any of you quote tweeting an illegal screenshot. That is encouraging bad behavior. They're doing it for clicks. They don't care about any of this. They just want likes. And that's BS. Sean, please think before you retweet. I think that's all.
I just have to say for the listener, BJ did not know what this rant was going to be. And I saw his expression just be like, oh no. And then immediately switched when he saw what it was about. Well done.
I have seen Sean doing that. So the moment she said this was about Sean, actually, it took me a second, but there is a moment where you could see I realized what this is about. And it's fair. I have seen Sean retweeting a lot of movie theater footage. And I'm just glad Jamie hasn't been anywhere near that man, because it's good to see him still walking upright with a pulse.
I just want him to just realize what he's doing. That's all. You have the power to do good. You have so much power, Sean. You're a powerful man. Encourage good behavior.
We are going to take a quick 1-minute break. When we come back, we got Agatha, Cap 4, Thunderbolts, and that's our show. So we'll see you in a moment. Subscribe during the break on YouTube specifically. Welcome back to Phase Zero. One might say this is Phase 3 of Phase Zero. And in this case, we have Anthony Mackie pulling a Tom Holland after dunking on Tom Holland on stage. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly at San Diego Comic-Con, Captain America himself said a little bit more than he should have, but afterwards I want to talk about the context and see if that's actually true. Richard, can you do us a kindness and roll the clip?
Of Hulk and his film don't pertain to this movie at all. When and if
come on, man. I mean,
shows up, and he not Red Hulk, the other Hulk. There are multiple Hulks.
No,
so when he shows up, but there's only one Red Hulk.
Good.
There's only one.
Okay, man. Good.
That's it.
Solid.
Never be another Red Hulk.
I'm happy.
That's it.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. when he shows up, his world, his universe, his story is completely separate from what the way we utilize him in our story.
Yep.
So is Anthony Mackie talking about the Hulk and revealing he's going to show up in Captain America: Brave New World? Or is he talking about the leader? I haven't seen the question to tee up this response, but it does seem like he might be talking about the Hulk, and Harrison Ford is the one who's like trying to cut him off from giving something away.
I'm 50-50 on this. It also would be so funny on the topic we said earlier about people just lying to people's faces of like Ruffalo did say he's not in it. Like, I mean, he said he was in it and then he had to say that he's not in it. So I'm 50-50 on it. I think either way, based on hearing the quote itself, he could be talking about Red Hulk. He could be talking about Leader. He could be talking about Hulk. We won't know until the movie comes out or until they spoil it in a trailer 2 weeks before the movie comes out. So.
Yeah, that's true. When does this come out? February 25th? February 19th. Here we go. Jamie. I see the wheels turning for Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that could be talking about anything. But I mean, do we have the confirmation? Isn't Liv Tyler in this movie? And yeah. I feel like if Liv Tyler's in this movie, we have to have Hulk. I really want to see Liv Tyler and Mark Ruffalo in a scene together. So I'm rooting for this. But the way this question was asked and answered, they could mean anything. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if Hulk showed up.
Yeah, for me, it felt like he was talking about the leader. But could have been Hulk. Aaron, you got any thoughts on this one?
If we just gonna have all the Hulks in it, where Jen at? That's all I got. That's all I got
Yep.
to add. If we just have
the chat is also like, "Where's Scar?" Which is funny because I honestly forgot about Scar.
Oh man, that's right. He exists.
Who cares?
Yeah, we need Jen at very least. I deserve good things.
Jen would be cool. Scar, I don't really care. Agatha.
Oh my goodness, there's Agatha's cast updates. According to Joe Locke, his character was only known in the script as Teen to keep a secret. He said to Empire, he's a familiar. He's like the assistant to the Coven. Teen is a big fan of witchcraft and witches, so for him to be taken under Agatha Harkness's wing and form a coven and go down the witch's road is his dream. He's fanboy-esque and in his element, which is very fun because I was too. I think this is funny because like they just won't just say you're Billy. Like, why don't they just confirm it? We can see it by his clothes who he's playing. I don't know why they're trying to keep this a secret, but you know, maybe we're wrong. Maybe he is just some random teen. But the use of the word familiar is interesting because familiars are typically animals. You know, like Sabrina's got a cat, things like that. So I think that was an interesting choice of word. And I'm like, is this like some kind of animal that gets turned into a kid if it's not Billy?
Because I know there's the Nick Scratch theory that he might just be playing Nick Scratch, who like is referenced in WandaVision and stuff. I do feel like familiar isn't exclusively an animal thing anymore because like What We Do in the Shadows uses it and it's just like the human assistance of the vampires. So I feel like they could use it either way. I do like that that's how we meet him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the twist a couple episodes in where we probably learn that he's Billy anyway.
If he's Billy, keeping it a secret is stupid. Just like it's one of those. If this is one of those, here's a finale reveal that you all saw coming. All right, Disney Plus, enough. Just we all know. If he's not Billy, okay, cool. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just find it funny that it's in the script as Teen the entire time, which would lead to some weird line reads. Blooper reel should be good. Because I would get confused trying to read through this that way. But we'll see. I don't know. But you got other weird naming stuff going on here too.
Yeah, on the topic of hiding people's names, Lewis Pullman says that Bob is not his Thunderbolts character's only name. So he was talking to Entertainment Weekly and he said, quote, "All I'll say is that everyone has their own nicknames and Bob is not his only name as Lewis is not my only name." So he's Sentry. I don't know why we're hiding it, but he's Sentry.
Yep. On behalf of Matt Shackman, I'm beefing with Lewis Pullman. If you watch the Matt Shackman interview on the Phase Zero channel, that man just comes, bumps Matt Shackman to the side and stands right in front of him in the camera.
Oh.
Sandra, let me catch you outside. How about that? Okay. It was just, and Matt Shackman is like the nicest guy. He's like, he's like 5'7". Lewis Pullman's like this giant man, just barged into the shot. Bob, all right. No, it was a moment that somebody commented. I don't think they knew it was Lewis Pullman. They commented, it was like, that guy in the blue shirt was so rude. Like, it was in Lewis's defense. Although we are beefing, so I don't have to defend you. The carpet was extremely tight on that Marvel press line after Hall H, so there wasn't really anywhere to go. We all did our best, but it wasn't good enough, Bob. Just tell us he's. I mean, you know, we all like we come on, whatever. All right. Anything else on Thunderbolts?
I think it's funny that his name was Bob in Top Gun Maverick. That's my only 2 cents.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick stars making their way to the MCU. All right, y'all. Well, that, I believe, is our show for today. Tomorrow, Guardians of the Galaxy turns 10. We're going to have a special episode looking back at Guardians. Kind of like a late review type deal for the movie, just with some special messages from the cast on Phase Zero. So stay tuned to that. Thursday bonus episode, August 1st, Guardians of the Galaxy, 10 years old, which is insane to think about. Daphne Keane, Aaron Stanford all coming to the podcast or YouTube channel, see how long the interviews are and all that stuff. But just subscribe to the YouTube channel and you'll be covered the best way possible. But also, if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, also subscribe to the Spotify and Apple podcast channels too, because like I said at the beginning of the show, it does help us to be able to say, look at how many people listen to our podcast. We would love to have Ryan Reynolds on the show. And actually, Ryan Reynolds wanted to do an hour and we were like, we're full, guy. Sorry, I don't know who you think you are. We're booked up, Ryan, but maybe for Deadpool 4. That didn't happen. Jamie, any last words for today's show?
Yeah, thanks for letting me rant. I don't know how much was cut off via audio, so I hope not too much because my passions are very strong. Follow me at Jamie Jirak on Letterboxd and Instagram, and Jamie Cinematics on Twitter. Wow, it just feels like we had such a busy week now, but I don't know. Still don't know if I'm going to D23, but I appreciate everyone in the comments asking for it. We'll find out soon.
Aaron.
It's at Silver Lake Hornet. Thank you guys again for a wonderful weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. All the follow-up stuff is on comicbook.com for you to read. Liam is typing up Mr. Majors' comments right now, so you can read his analysis on that. And yeah, we're going to have to ask Brandon to ask someone why Thor is crying. I've seen a ton of you just
don't get into that. Don't get into that.
That
he is so sad that he did not ask that.
I haven't slept since Comic-Con. That is only partially due to the fact that the schedule was insane. It's largely, mostly, almost entirely due to the fact that I interviewed Chris Hemsworth on the Transformers 1 press line on Thursday. And I had already seen Deadpool. And I didn't ask him why is Thor crying. That has haunted me in a way that not many things in my life have. I can't have that back. So I have let myself and the entire Phase Zero community down. I'm sorry.
If it helps, he probably would have said, I don't know.
Honestly, yeah.
We all know that doesn't matter. The clip is the clip. Jason Momoa walked away after I said, what kind of fish was it? Guess what? The clip was the clip. Jenna, any last words for today's show?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. Thank you guys so much again for coming out to our panel this weekend. It is absolutely surreal that we even got to do this, and hopefully it's not the last one. Hopefully it is the first of many that we will get to do in front of an audience. And as always, go read some comics.
That's our show, everybody. Huge thanks to Jamie, Jenna, and Aaron for being phenomenal co-hosts on Phase Zero week after week. Huge thanks to our community for supporting us and coming out to join us in person at San Diego Comic-Con, for listening to the panel, for the pops that everybody got on stage and made us all feel super, super good. We love you for it. And thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for lots of cool new episodes. Deadpool's over. We're shifting gears into Agatha real soon. D23 is right around the corner, so don't miss a thing. It's good to feel like the MCU has like a big event thing going, and we get to be a part of the conversation with you all, and you all come to us for some of that and get to participate in the comment section. And now, apparently, sometimes in person too. Play our show for your mom, play it for your dog. We'll see you tomorrow for the Guardians of the Galaxy 10-year anniversary special, and on Monday with some member of Deadpool and Wolverine for a spotlight interview. See you there.